Hey Dave, hey Shan. You guys make videos for us all the time, and now I get to make a video for you. Very cool. So I had just recorded 20 minutes of this video, and my very expensive laptop decided that it was done recording at 20 minutes and froze on me, and all of my footage is now gone that I had recorded. So that's really annoying. And part of me was just like, screw it, but we're doing it again because gotta give it a heckin' try if you're gonna give it a heckin' try. So I can't believe I'm going back to the beginning again. All right, so have I read and understood the disclaimer below? Yes, fully understood. Traumatize me, give me your best shot. What's the worst you can do? Come on, let's see. Yeah, but we're all cool there. No worries on that end. I think I already traumatized myself enough personally through kind of getting into this world and, you know, getting some pretty heavy realizations early on. So yeah, give me a best shot. 2, average work week. Oh, this is the one that I spent like 20 minutes on. Okay, so it's just gonna be better this time around, right? So I usually don't get into my work, my week with most people because it's a lot of stuff going on, and people will space out, people can't relate. I totally get that people can't relate because it's freaking crazy. But it's not crazy. It's not crazy, but it's just what I do. So wake up time, 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday, from 7 to 7:20 every morning. I walk Andy, hey, good boy. I walk him, I come inside, I make my breakfast, I make his breakfast. He has to have his breakfast made because he gets a wheatgrass because he's extra AF. And I usually make a smoothie for myself, and then I get ready for work, leave the house at 8:20, get to work at 9 o'clock. Monday through Friday, that same routine exists. My work. So what I do for work is I am a creative director at a large nonprofit holistic health resort, and we have over 140 employees. We host guests from all around the world who come to learn how to give themselves, to achieve better health, to learn healthier lifestyle practices, and to leave with a better quality of life that hopefully they can continue on once they get home. So it's really cool. And I came there, I originally got hired for social media in the beginning. Now I do everything from web page design, landing pages. I basically do everything with our website. All of our graphic design, brochures, flyers, this and that. My favorite thing to work on at the moment is our campaigns. So like our funnels, our ad funnels, our campaigns. So I enjoy gathering the content for those, kind of organizing to what I know is going to be the most impactful, really got people on the hook, and, you know, designing that into a campaign and building a landing page that matches with it and getting out the door. So that's what I'm doing a lot of now. Still do a little bit of social media, but now I have some other people working in my department who handle that a little bit more than I do, which is fantastic because I was a lone wolf for a long time while I worked there. It was a department of one. And how I got hired there, so I went to school for music and education. I had 2 majors, and I thought I was going to do music ed, but I soon taught the last semester of my senior year was around lots of children for 8 classes a day, and I said, heck, this teaching stuff ain't for me. That's okay, I can move on and do other things. All good in the hood. So that's what I did, and so I got hired for this job basically with no experience, and it's at a very well-established company. It's a 60-year-old company, and so I was interviewing with the VP there, who, very accomplished guy. He has run Marriott's like all over the country and a bunch of other like big resorts and hotels. And I went through 3 interviews. The second interview, he told me, listen, I'm gonna call you back for a 3rd interview, just so you know, it's between you and an actual like outside company. So I'm either gonna hire you for in-house or I'm gonna contract out of house with this company. And I was like, okay. And so when I was there for my 2nd interview, I realized he had this book on his shelf. It was called Prescription for Nutritional Healing. It's a book that I also had. And it was a book I had for like years. I would just kind of like flip through it, you know, I'm looking for something related to something with health, and oh, that was what I was looking for. And sometimes I had highlighted or bookmark a tab on it or something like that. And it was always just kind of like kicking around my house because like I found that stuff interesting, and sometimes I need to find stuff and I would find it in there. So what I did for my 3rd interview is I brought that book, and I knew at some point in the interview it was going to present, it's like an opportunity would present itself, and so I was kind of waiting for it. So my 3rd interview, I'm like interviewing, talking about, you know, whatever. I knew he already liked the majority of what I was saying, but he needed some kind of confirmation that like, this is our girl, you know, this is who we want to work here. And, you know, he said, he was like, basically, you're not very qualified for this position. You have no background experience in it, but I just have a feeling that you could be the right person. So really, like, why are you the right person for this job? And so what I did is I whipped out that book and I like brushed through the pages with all the highlights and like the tabs on it. And I was like, Michael, or I called him probably Mr. Allen at that point, Mr. Allen, I see that you have this book on your shelf. I saw it, you know, during my 2nd interview. And, you know, I also have this book, and I was like, you know, look at mine. I was like, I have gone through this thing. I know this thing back and front. And the difference between me and this outside company is, you know, you're just going to be one of many clients with them. For me, I really understand this information. I know what people are going to be asking you. I know the kind of content that people are looking for. And I can already help with the problems that they don't even really know that they have, things that they're looking to get solved. I have the information to provide that already. So whereas someone else is gonna have to learn this company back and front, learn the things that you guys teach, and I'm still gonna have to do that too, but I already have such a head start, and this is something that I live personally. It's not something I'm just doing as a job. And right then and there, hired on the spot, job I had no experience in. And what was cool and why they ended up loving me, I've been there for going on 5 years now, is that they like that I've always been able to get stuff done, even like when it's complete like baptism by fire. Just like the most insane requests, I have 30 minutes to get done, and I would always pull it off. And I'd always, you know, produce a product that was a good product. Sometimes it's not always my best work, but hey, when you got 30 minutes, you're going to get what you're going to get. And so I was promoted pretty early on to a manager, the youngest manager by like over 20 years at the company within my 1st year, and then became creative director later on. And where was I going with that? Design, creative. Oh, none of that stuff I went to school for. I had to freaking figure it all out on my own. And, but I knew that I wanted to be there, and I knew that I also didn't want a job that was just social media, which is originally what I got hired for. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be at this company forever, which at the end of the day, I don't know when I'll be there, for how long, for whatever. But I was like, when I leave, I'm gonna have a freaking good title. I am going to leave with credentials and experience, and heck, I'm already there. I was already there like 2 years ago. But it's great because I've continued to get more experience there. I've worked with people, like we've contracted with like lots of people for different things, and I've gotten a ton of job offers from people outside of my company saying work for us. But the thing that keeps me there at the end of the day, at Hippocrates where I work, is the fact that, you know, I do see people's lives change there. I do see the impact that it's having on the world, and it's something that I already believe. It's something that I do myself. I think I mentioned that it's they do vegan food there. It's all raw vegan. I'm not particularly raw vegan, but I am vegan. Was before I started working there. That's kind of why I wanted to start working there. And so even though I could get more money at some of these other jobs, and that's cool, but it's like I can't deliver the same amount of me for something that I don't believe in or something that's not important to me. I can't do it. Like, you know, if someone offered me a job at like Mercedes-Benz, I'm sure I could pull it off. Like, I could make it happen for a short period of time, but I wouldn't be happy about it. Like, I wouldn't be, you know, we're on cloud nine doing car ads. Like, I just have no passion behind that. I could grind it out and make it work, but I much rather not grind it out and make it work, get paid less, and, you know, do something that I know is important, or is important to me. So, my day while I'm there at work consists of me working 8 straight hours. That's probably another reason. I think my phone's still recording. Hope it is. Okay, I think we're good. Yep, okay. I'm working 8 straight hours. I don't take lunch breaks. I don't really take breaks for anything. That's to my deficit. I'm working on that, at least walking around, giving myself a break once in a while. But it's like, I'm in my zone, I'm in my flow, like, and I don't want to be there past 8 hours. Like, and I feel like there's this kind of like unwritten expectation for managers and people to like be there like 10 hours, and like, no, like baby girl's got stuff to do. Like, I got an agenda when I get home, so ain't got no time for that. Of course I will if I have to, but like I work 110% while I'm there. Like, I give it freaking everything, and then when I get home, like I need to be out at 5. I need to, for my own sanity, basically, and I know that for sure. Okay, so on Mondays, that's my morning till 5. Mondays, I feel like I forgot something. It'll come back to me. Mondays after work, so now it's split. So Ben is my husband, he's doing a video in the other room. After my whole entire video blew up after the 20 minutes I went over there, he still hadn't started his yet because he's like figuring out some stuff on his computer, so. But he's doing it, so it's cool. So we decided that on Mondays we're going to do some kind of creative work together. And so that's new for us. We're trying it out, see how it's gonna work. And I also have to do my blog post for that week for the Glam Grime blog that I do with my friend Grace, who I met in college. She lives out in Colorado. She was like, hey, do this blog with me. And I was like, yes, I think it could be good. I need more, it would be good for me to do. I need life experience in that. Add to the list of things I like to do, so that's cool. So I have to do that on Monday nights. Tuesdays, same morning, go through work. I feel like I was forgetting something at work that I wanted to say. I said none of the stuff I went to school for. I learned everything because I had to. Baptism by fire. My battery's at 20%. That's cool. We're gonna make it work. I got another thing. Okay, so yeah, work, and then Tuesday nights, I don't know what I wanted to say. There was something else there that I thought that I was missing. Okay, Tuesday after work, I teach aerial classes from 6 p.m. to about 9 o'clock. I teach a beginner class and then in my intermediate class. And so I teach aerial. Aerial is that fabric you see in Cirque du Soleil that everyone does acrobatics and cool stuff on. Everyone's like, hey, that thing, I want to do that thing. And so I'm someone who teaches that thing, and I do it myself. I definitely like the performance part of it more than the teaching part, but I've seen my students grow so much at this point, and they've gotten so into it, and I have a sense of responsibility to them because they're inspired in the art, and I want to see people continue to be inspired in it. So I stick it through, and I continue to teach them, and they really do enjoy having me as teacher for some reason. They say that I explain things well and other stuff. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday is, so Wednesday and Thursday, these 2 days kind of flip-flop. Morning work are the same, and After work, I either have a rehearsal or I go to train myself in Fort Lauderdale. And so it just depends on what my schedule is that week. So either one night's gonna be a rehearsal, one day is gonna be training, and they kind of flip-flop. So that'll be one or the other. When I drive to Fort Lauderdale, I literally get home at like 5:45. I'm leaving my house at 6 o'clock, and then I am going down to Fort Lauderdale, which is about 45 minutes from me, do my thing down there, get there by like 7, come back. I leave there at 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock, drive back to West Palm, get back there like around 10:45, eat some food, go to bed. Basically the same thing for my rehearsal nights. It's not in that direction, but it's like the same layout and schedule. So, and that's, so my training is for aerial, is for circus stuff. My rehearsals are either for my dance performance stuff that I do, or it's for music. I have played lots of different kinds of music, plays with lots of different kinds of bands, salsa, jazz, symphonies, freaking everything. Salsa's the best though. Like salsa's like real dope. It was the most challenging form of music to learn after being a white girl and playing jazz like all your life. But it was awesome. But I don't do as much music stuff anymore. I just do music for my church right now, which is on Sundays. I've been volunteering with the same church for about 10 years and started with them from the ground up. They're like super dope people. I love them. And yes, so it's either rehearsal for that, rehearsal for dance, and then training. One of those things on Wednesday and Thursday, always booked. Friday is the day that I leave open, and that's for either booking for my dance performance stuff. So in addition to aerial, circus, acrobatic stuff, I do fire dancing, I do stilt walking, I do LED stuff. It's the same thing as the fire stuff, but with LED. And you guys are on the West Coast, so you should know about all that. And is that it? I think that's it. Yeah. I tried doing belly dance, but like, not for me. Can't be that in people's faces. So my shows are like for that stuff. I love it. I love the performance. I love curating a piece that I find like really works with a piece of music. Like I love like the design aspect that comes with it. Just like making that really awesome product like at the end of the day. And I like to do it because it's cool to make something. Then let's see, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Oh, I said Friday. Friday's the day I reserve for shows. If I don't have a show, then surprise, I get a free night off. So that's always fun when that happens. And Saturday, so Saturday is like the same thing. Saturday is reserved usually for shows. I usually have a show either Friday or Saturday. And then Saturday I also try to film a YouTube video, trying to get those out consistently on a weekly basis. So there's that on Saturday usually as well. Sometimes I get that over to Sunday. Sunday, usually church. So I told you I've been volunteering with that same church for about 10 years. And that is from balls early in the morning till about 2:45 in the afternoon. All day. Musicians play all day. And then, but I don't volunteer every week anymore. I used to, for a long time, I was every single week, and then I did like every other week. Now I'm like every 3 weeks, or I'm definitely like backing off that schedule because holy crap, like 8 hours of volunteer work a week on top of what I'm already doing, it was killing me. It was a lot. But I still love them. We'll continue to chill with them for a long time. And then Sunday after that, do laundry for my upcoming week. And yep, that's it. So that's my basic work week. Work, friends. Okay, so on that, so not in school anymore, graduated. I talked about work. Friends, yes, I have those, but I don't have very many. And that's all my own fault, because I do have a lot of people that say they would like to hang out with me, but like, we'll get into that. Drama, nope. Don't even know how to approach that. That's another reason why my employers like me, is because like I don't get involved with any bullshit within the company, like nothing. Don't talk to people, don't leave my desk, like, and I have acknowledged at this point that networking is important. It's important to like know people and make connections, and it's not always about what you know, but it's about who you know. And so like I'm open to that. I went to a business trip up to Daytona Beach that I was invited to, wasn't required to go to, but was invited to, with like some big CEOs and stuff like that. And I was like, Lindsay, you're gonna do the thing. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna be sociable, and you're gonna be interested and engaged in what these people have to say. And it actually turned out to be quite like cool. And like out of everyone who went in the company, I think there was like 5 of us. They were just like, everyone needs to be more like this girl. And they were talking to me, this guy who has like, he actually is the advertising agency who does like Mercedes-Benz like across the country, and Rolls-Royce and like all these other big things. So I was like, oh, thank you, guy. But like that was cool, and so I'm glad I went. And he actually had a lot of cool things to say. As he was talking, I was trying to type him in my head, and like the whole time, like everything he said, I was like, okay, that's extroverted. No, that's introverted thinking. That's extroverted feeling. Like it was like, I mean, I'm sure you guys know what that's like, but it's like once you start learning these systems, it's like when people talk, I just hear the connection to OP, and I'm just like, you can't turn it off. It's like a language that's in your head that you just can't get it to stop talking. But it's cool. Like it's kind of cool to have that thing going on. And then I talk about it to other people, and other people are like, wow, that's really interesting. That's actually kind of helpful. And I'm like, I know, right? Cool. So ain't no drama. My family is super small. It's just like me, my mom, my dad. I have 3 cousins. They're also only children. We're like boring AF, straight up. But yeah, no drama in my life. No. Interests, those are kind of things I've already, well, we'll talk about that more probably too. Okay, so number 3 and 4, the best times in life you've ever had and the worst times in life. I'm gonna pause my video because I'm afraid it's gonna shut down because I'm past 22 minutes. So this is my phone though, but hold on, we'll see. And we're back. Okay, so 3 and 4, best times in life, worst times in life. Okay, when I read these, I was like, they bothered me a little bit, and this is why. So actually, I was in this interview last Saturday. This, I briefly mentioned it to Dave on the emails. They came to like interview me. They're a production company. They wanted to do something cool, do a demo kind of for themselves, but I can use it for myself. I did it anyway. Ended up being about like Ariel, but it was really more me like inspiring people to basically, you can do anything you want if you freaking work hard enough and just like grind it out the crap and do it. Like I'm not particularly gifted anything, but like they wanted to interview me because I have all these like accomplishments, things that I have done under my belts. Like I have become like a very accomplished musician. I have like all like the Ariel stuff that I do. I also do like all this like graphic and web work and that stuff. And then like there's, you know, there's the whole like nutrition side of things that I'm involved with. So there's like all these things, but they're not just things that I do, they're things that I do well. And they're just like, the story was really about like, how do you do so many things very well? And my answer, like I said, was, I said it more eloquently, but it is just allotting the time that you're going to plow your heart and your soul and your mind into getting it done, knowing your process, so you see what your goal is. I acknowledge, okay, this is where I want to go. I want to be an aerialist. I want to do these kind of moves, these kind of poses. What is the stuff I have to practice in order to get there? What's the kind of exercises? What's the kind of conditioning I need to be able to get there? And like, that's just what I apply to everything in my life. Like, I see where I want to go. I see what I want to do. you know, there's more examples, but like, I see, like, even for the stuff like within work, like, okay, I need to build this landing page. We got this brand new plug on the website that some consultant decided they wanted to put on there. I have never used this thing before. I just like figured the crap out of it, and a lot of it was like trial and error. What is working? What's not? Why is this background not working? Why is this? Okay, it's attached to this thing. Okay, well now I know that. And just like going through and like working it out, and then like being able to design the thing, you know? And if you just like don't allow yourself to get frustrated in the beginning when everything sucks, because everything sucks in the beginning. Like, don't allow yourself to get frustrated there, and get through the stuff that you don't want to do, the stuff that's not natural to you. And I feel like you guys talk about that a lot too, is like doing the things that don't come naturally to you. It's not natural for me to like want to watch a tutorial on like doing some stupid little thing on a website, like this stupid, why can't I get it to work? I've tried it my 5 ways, those didn't work. All right, now I'm gonna freaking go to a YouTube video, watch it. Okay, that's why, okay, now it works, you know? And so it's doing things like that, that once you have your goal, once you have your few things that you're like, this is what I wanna do now, this is what I wanna do now, you know, later in life, whatever it is, that if you just grind it out for a period of time and go for it with a process, with a plan, that you can get it done every time. Like, you will get it done. And but then it's also, do you want to get it done? Because some people think that they want to do something, but they don't know the pieces that are really required in order to do it. So, you know, they're like, oh, I think I want to be an aerialist. I can just like go to some classes and be an aerialist. It's like, no, you have to do millions of repetitions of exercises that suck. You have to be okay with pain, because like that crap hurts, and you have to be willing to do it over and over and over again. And you have to be, I did the same trick. I was working on one trick for an entire year, 1 whole year to get one trick. And I would get it, but not consistently. I would get it one day and not the next day. And I was like, I don't really get this trick until I do it consistently. It took me 1 whole year, and it took me, my video slowed down. I always videotape myself, but I had to slow down that video to the slowest setting and watch it back before I was like, oh, my brain thought I was doing something that my body was doing, and that was the answer. So how does this relate to questions 3 and 4? I bet you're wondering, because I am too. Okay, so where I was going there was with that interview, they had asked me, what's one of your best childhood memories? And if I know I need to produce words, I can spit them out. But man, I was stuck on this question. I was like, what is my best childhood memory? What was I doing? Like, and this is what I think it comes down to, is I had a great childhood. My parents are awesome, like, love them. They were good. Can't complain anyway. But I could not identify one moment that I was like, wow, that was like a really great moment. And I just kind of like stood there like with like this light in my eyes, and I was just like, I could not get out anything. I ended up saying something so dumb that I was just like, well, they're definitely not using that clip. Awkward, move on. But then I saw these 2 questions, and like I had the same kind of like response. I was like, what is one of the best times in life that I've ever had, and what is one of the worst? And honestly, it's really hard for me to identify, because I kind of think that all things are kind of cool and good, and sometimes things suck, and that's part of life. In my opinion, doesn't really change on that. Like, I'm very center of the road when it comes to like good and like bad things. Like, I don't give emotional responses to anything. And that's just kind of how it is. And that's a reason I also think I have trouble relating to people who are going through an emotional situation or emotional response, because I literally can't relate to I see that they're having a real moment. Like, they actually feel a certain way. They are going through real emotions, but I can't understand what they're going through, because I have not personally like gone through that or felt that way. And I'm just like, I don't know how to respond. So I'm probably not gonna respond. I'm just gonna awkwardly turn away or something like that. So, but in order to try to answer the question, some of the best times in life you've ever had, like I've had good. So funny story, since you saw my last clip, at the end of that last clip, my phone overheated, and then I went back to recording on Indy, what do you want? I went back to recording on my computer, doing smaller segments, so it would not explode on me. And I was just about finishing the last question, had about 40 minutes recorded, and then I did the thing where it froze again and I lost all my stuff. So, a little bit annoyed about that, but YOLO, I am almost done with this video. I only have a few more questions to do that haven't been recorded yet. So, I'm gonna keep on keeping on. Indy, what do you want, baby? Cutest baby in the world. Are you the cutest baby? Are you my only baby forever? Yes. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so questions 3 and 4, best experiences, worst experiences. I feel like Rick Beto because I am pissed at Apple right now because of these past situations. But okay, so I think in my last clip, I've said everything now so many times, I feel like that I'm losing track of what, and I'm not gonna go and rewatch everything I just recorded before. So 3 and 4, having authentic experiences, best experiences, worst experiences. I don't really feel like I can give adequate answers to those because that is something that I've struggled with as a person, to say, well, what really has been a great experience? What has been a bad experience? Because to me, they're all kind of okay. They're all kind of good. Like, even, so I can't really like pinpoint like what has been like what has a great thing been, you know, or what is like a bad thing been, because everything is kind of like okay, like I've always been this even keel, not very like emotional response, like going forward, you know, because you experience things and then you learn from them and you grow from them, and everyone experiences like stuff, and your stuff really isn't any different than anyone else's stuff, and that's just kind of how it is. So as I was thinking about this question now, which I'm doing for like the 13th time, it feels like, you know, like, okay, so good experiences, I have to answer the question, right? So good experiences like have been like getting married, and when I was 22, my parents, like I was engaged for 2 years to Ben, and they were like, you're too young to get married, and I was like, fight the system, we don't care. So like that was a fun experience, like that was good. And you know, like things like when I get to see my students in my classes like get something that they've been working on for a long time, like actually get it, and they just like got the sense of like, wow, that was awesome. I'm like, cool, like that was awesome for me too, you know, because I got to see like your progress, and like I got to see the thing happen that you're working for, like that's cool, you know. And so one experience that was, it did come to mind, and I was like, should I mention this or not? But I'm gonna mention it because yeah, so illicit substances. I was with some friends at an event, and everyone had taken LSD, and we were all hanging out in this little circle together, some, you know, like lawn chairs, and just talking, and the conversation just got real funny, and we were just making jokes with each other, and I started laughing so hard that I actually cried, like, and I have never laughed so hard that I've cried before, ever. So this like experience of like being like in so much laughter and like such a state of like hilarity that I was like actually physically crying. Like it was beautiful. Like it was so cool to be able to experience that. And you know, you hear people say like, oh, I laughed so hard I cried. Like I had never experienced that. And so to actually experience that was like really freaking cool, you know? And sure enough, it hasn't happened since then. Hopefully it will one day. But it was a really cool, that was like a really cool experience. So then bad experiences, this is the one that's even like harder than the good experiences, as if that wasn't rough enough. This one's even harder because I feel like all the bad experiences in life, they are just kind of preparing you for, not preparing you, but they're just part of the human experience. Like everyone experiences death, everyone experiences a loss, everyone experiences hurt, everyone experiences pain. Like it's just what happens, and it's more like what you do with it versus your response in that moment. Well, no, it is your response in that moment, but like it's more like what do you take with that experience, you know? What do you use it for? How do you grow from it? And it's the human experience, you know? So I feel like any of the hard things that I've kind of gone through in life, that they've just kind of, you know, contributed to who I am. Like I've taken a piece of that experience and grown from it. And I think that's also why it makes it really hard for me to relate to people sometimes who are going through a very emotional or just like very deep and real situations, and I can see that they are going through that experience. They're having a real experience. The thing is happening. It's real to them, but I cannot relate to it, and that is difficult because I feel like I should be able to. Like I should be able to human better. I should be able to respond better, and I can't most of the time. And that's hard because I'm kind of usually like, I'm like the most prepared person on earth. Like I'm ready for the thing. Like you got a thing, like I can probably get down with it on some level, you know, like figure it out. Like what do I need to do? I can get through the process and I can produce the thing. I can have some kind of response that makes sense usually. But then like you get these like emotional things like from other people, and I'm just like, good Lord, what do I need to do? And so those are hard for me. And so, you know, Indy, why do you keep licking my leg? I love you. I know I've been recording videos for like 3 hours, but so the one circumstance that comes to mind that I had written to you guys when I first started the class was about how there was this girl who had come to my office where I worked. You know, she had recently lost a parent. I didn't know that at the time. She came in, she was bawling her eyes out. She went to go see the VP. She came back out of the room. The girl who was sitting next to me had told me while she was in the room that she just lost her mom. Like that's why she's so upset. She's coming out there, you know, she's behind me now. HR is still in with the VP, and she's just back there like sobbing, and I'm just like, Lindsay, like have some kind of like response, like do something, say something, you know, give something authentic to her, like give something meaningful, like give her something that will make this better, you know, in some way. And my lack of response, my lack of ability to rationalize an appropriate reaction for this, like completely destroyed me. Even in the moment, I was like, come on girl, like get with it. Like there has to be something, like say something, do something, put your arm around her, say like, I don't know. But like I could not rationalize it in the moment because I had not experienced that feeling myself. You know, I hadn't actually lost my mother before. And so I'm like running through these scenarios of like good ways to like do the thing, and I couldn't come up with one. And then like I didn't do anything. I didn't even turn around. And then here I was in this moment, like making it about me again. And I was just like, why can't I do this? Why can't I? And then I'm like, I shouldn't even be making it about me. I should be making it about her. And so it was like the same thing, so that's when I realized, I was like, okay, there's something wrong and I need to fix it. Somehow I need to fix it. I'm just keeping restarting and stopping these clips so that they don't die. So that's when I knew there was a problem. That's when I went to go seeking for answers. And what was the next question? I've answered it so many times, and I feel like it leads into this. It's like, what are you trying to achieve right now, or something like that. Yeah, what's your biggest challenge in life right now? Okay, wasn't that far off. So that's my biggest challenge in life right now, is I'm trying to human better, and yeah, be a better human, less of an alien. It's hard because I always feel prepared in life, in circumstances. I feel very, very secure in my abilities to do pretty much anything but people. And that never bothered me for like the majority of my life. You know, I was just like, screw it, you know, I'm gonna go do my thing. Like, I'm going to, you know, get done what I need to get done. I'm gonna get my accomplishments done. Like, I don't really care what they're doing. And I realized that, you know, being able to respond to people is a good thing to know how to do, because life requires it. And sometimes you just got to get down with what life is telling you need to do. So, and since this time, you know, since that time happened, that's kind of how I got brought into typology in the first place. My friend Grace had been telling me to, you know, do MBTI for a long time. I'd actually done the MBTI test because my husband was in a mediation class, and he had to do it himself. Carl Jung, like, stuff with him, and he had to do the test like himself, and then he had to get someone that he was close to do the test. And so I was not in the mood the day, and I was like, yeah, I'll do this stupid test to help you out, whatever. And so I ran through it. It was like, had one of those dumb placeholder names. When I got to my type, it was like the architect, and I was like, I hate math. And so I like tossed away that concept, and so I totally forgotten I had actually taken it. And then he was like, once I took it the next time when I was actually ready for the information, accepting of it, and I was like, when I actually took it after the situation with the girl in my office and all that, I was like, oh my gosh, I had never read such an accurate description of my life in any regard ever, nor had I ever felt like someone had pinpointed how I thought so accurately. It was mind-blowing, and that moment was like life-altering in a sense that I was like, dang, okay, someone out there gets it. Like, and you know, I always knew that I was different, but and I knew I was different from so young of an age. I just accepted it. Like, I just accepted that I thought differently than people. And I always kind of just like felt like unrelatable, you know, like people kind of did their thing and I just kind of did my thing, and that was okay. And everyone got along their business, and I would see how people would get to these concepts and how people would come to these conclusions, and people, how they would experience these emotions. And I would just like look at it from this outside perspective. Like, I know they're experiencing something real. I know that they got to this through some kind of process, some kind of way, but I don't know how they got there. I don't understand how they got there. And so I was always just kind of curious by it. You know, it never really like hung me up on anything, but I was just like, it's different, you know? I know what works for me. And what was cool is that my way kind of worked for other people. Like, when I would explain things the way that I understood them, people got it no matter how they thought about other things in life, you know? And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, people like get me, like, if I explain it, you know, if I kind of break it down, they'll get it. But like people in general, I was just kind of like, I don't really get that. Like, how did you why did you think that was right? You know, like, how did you get there? And that was always just really like perplexing to me. So I've been trying to like figure out how to human better. Typology kind of like rocked my world in a minute, and I learned some things even at that point that I've started to implement about, like, you know, emotional intelligence, how it's important to like make connections with people, to network with people. It's not about what you know, but it's about who you know sometimes. And I've even tried to apply some of those things in life. So yes, learning, trying, accepting. The other thing that I am working on is my control chaosness. Also kind of how it involves people. So this was like so I feel like I have these standalone examples in my life that I'm like, that thing, I saw it happen there, I saw it happen there, stood out, oh my gosh, this is an issue, how do we attack it, you know? And so one of these other instances that comes to mind is when my friend Celine, she was texting me one night. She used to be a neighbor. We didn't talk to each other for months. We're both very like to ourselves. We lived like in the same building. My husband, her fiance were friends. They ended up talking a lot, and then we kind of like got right into it, and they were just like, maybe we do kind of like each other. Okay, cool, we'll be friends. And so like we were neighbors for 8 months before we talked to each other. But so we became friends. She was texting me, she was having some like major relationship problems that were like serious in nature. And I recognized that, and she was texting me one night. I was like, I feel like I know where this is going. I feel like she needs to come over here tonight. I feel like she needs to get out of her house. But I didn't offer it off the bat because I was just kind of like, give myself the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's not what's going on, you know? But I know. And so like I didn't say anything, and then like sure enough, not that long after, she was like, listen, I really hate to ask you this, but is there any way I can stay over your place tonight and like crash on your couch or whatever? Like I really can't be here tonight. And of course, like a decent human, I said, yes, of course, come on over, like anytime. And on the inside, I was just like, because like the first thing I thought of was like, oh my gosh, there's like socks all over the living room. Is the bathtub clean? Is there something weird hanging in there? Like, is there, you know, like there's things, I hadn't prepared things for someone to like come over and stay. It was outside of like what I was expecting. It was like a Tuesday night at like 10:30, you know? And like it wasn't in my plan, and it caused like inside anguish, you know? And it's like inside turmoil. So I was just like, oh yes, but this is the right thing. I need to do this. This is what has to happen. And so, you know, pick up the socks, like clean the bathroom like lightning, you know, got everything together, made sure she had like fresh sheets and like a towel and like, you know, whatever. And like, you know, she got there like 45 minutes later, and like we've been hanging out, and like it was fine. Like it was great. Like I really enjoyed having her there, and she actually stayed for like 2 more days, and like it was great, you know? No problems. But it's so funny that like before that point, I was like, on the inside, it was like, rah, rah. And it's like, she's a friend. I should always be like, yeah, come on over. Like, not a big deal. Like, sure. But because it was like outside of my like control boundary, like it caused me like stress in a way, you know? And so that was weird. And then I recognize that like that happens in other life. Like I'm very confident in like myself, in like my ability to get things done, like get things accomplished, like I can make the thing happen, like no problem, you know? I know what I can do. I know I can get it done. But like when the wrenches get thrown in, I will still go with the flow. No one will know that on the inside I'm just like, but why? But on the inside I'm like, but why? So yeah, just trying to figure out like why that's so much. And you know, my husband used to, hold on, I'm gonna pause this for a second. All right, I'm keeping up with the short clips. So my husband used to do this, and I said in like the first few years of our marriage, I was like, you really test my patience, babe. Because like so I made it clear, like I kind of like have my routine, I have my schedule, like I know how the amount of time I need to like put into everything, like I know what it's gonna take to get the thing done. I have my process, I have my plan. And then like Ben comes along, and then like we go into CVS to grab something really quick, and he'll spend like 20 minutes figuring out what kind of like candy bar he wants to get. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but that is an actual circumstance and true story. So like, you know, and me, I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Like, I don't have to make it, it's fine, it's fine. Babe, can we go? Can we go? Please, can we go? And like, on the inside, like, it taught me patience, because I'm like, I knew this is not a worthy subject to make a fuss about. Like, is it really gonna kill me at the end of the day? No, I know that. So, and you know, we talked about it like later, like, and I made clear like later on, like, listen, like sometimes like I just need to like, I can't spend like the amount of time, like it just like causes me harm on the inside. And you know, we've like worked through it, and like that's fine, but I would always say like in the beginning, like in these circumstances, because it's just like a disregard like to like schedule, I just like, you teach me patience. And so that's another one of those like hard things, but like it's become a good thing, because now I am a lot less impatient. Like I can hang, I can be like, okay, this is gonna be what it's gonna be, I'll make up for it, I'll make up for the time somewhere else, I'll figure it out and do what I always do. So not a big deal. But these so it's really like figuring out with myself like the control chaos thing. And I used to always like say like, oh, like I'm not a controlling person, like I'll only kind of like control a situation if it's for someone else's benefit, or if I know it's like for their good, you know. And that's funny, because sometimes people need to work things out on their own, like they need to kind of like go through their own hardships, and but like at the same time, sometimes like I can help, and like sometimes like I can show them how to do the thing better. And that's one thing that Ben and I have talked about too, is like, because that's more of my strength, is to like see the goal, know how to get there, right? See the goal, plan the steps to be able to achieve the thing. And you know, so like sometimes Ben's really good at like being in the present, where I'm really good at like being all the way at the end, and like already like my brain's already going in that direction, you know. So I struggle in being present, you know, being in the moment, things like that. So we've like kind of like gone back and forth with that, and like one thing that I'd be like, you know, like why don't you like ask me, like why don't, like when I'm able to help you with something, like if there's something that you're struggling with, like I know how, like I can, if I don't know how to get there, I can figure out a way how to get there, and it will like 90%, it'll probably 90% like be effective, and it will work. So just like ask me for that, you know, like, and I know that's something that I can help with and that I can do for you. But you know, sometimes people like don't want that control in their lives. Like sometimes people like, I don't know, I don't get it. Like, why don't you want my help? But that's just kind of how it is. Some people don't. And so where was I going? Anyway, okay, so I've been like working on these things. I've been trying to take in more from people who know what they're talking about on these topics. There's this one girl I listen to on YouTube. And she's really good at talking about people who are in an emotional state, things that are good to say. And so I feel like she's really helped me add some things into my toolbox in that area that I've been very empty in for a long time. And she's really helped me put some tools in there of things to say when like a situation arises. And I'm like, oh, this is one of those situations, Lindsay. What are you gonna say? Are you gonna not say anything? Are you gonna run away? Like, what are you gonna do? And I've had a few victories in that area. Like, since I really identified it, I've had a few moments of, like, this one happened the other day. This girl who's an acquaintance of mine was like kind of like venting about something on Facebook where she had felt like really like thrown under the bus on a specific topic. And I could see like there was like torment there, you know, like she was going through something. And so like I just messaged her, and I don't know exactly what I said, but in there I said like, listen, I just want you to let you know, like, I believe you, you know, like I believe you in what you're saying. And her response back was like so positive. She was just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. I just needed to hear that someone believed me so much. And like when that came in, I was like, oh, I did the thing. I was like so proud of myself. And like I feel like I should have like been like, oh good, I'm glad she felt that way. But I was really just like, yes, I nailed the tool. I got it. I did the thing right. But whatever, like that made me happy because I think it's showing growth in this area that I've been lacking. So I want to continue to get better at that because, and once again, I'm like piecing together all these videos that I've taken and all these clips on 2 different devices, and I'm like forgetting what I've said here and what I've said on another one, what's been erased and what hasn't. But like overall, like I'm seeing where my deficits lie, and I'm sure you guys will clarify that even better. And I'm seeing the tools that I need to apply, and I'm actually seeing improvement. So that's really cool. So which brings me to the last question. Where do you want to be in 10 years? So I'm in no rush to make decisions on things, because when I make a decision on things, like girl goes balls to the wall, like I will have a plan and a process to get from A to B, and I will get to B no matter what. And sometimes it's hard because sometimes I will mow people down on my way to get there. I will ignore relationships that need attention. I will put things on the back burner that shouldn't go on the back burner. And that is also a growing area because I realize that people need attention. Friendships need work. And people have feelings and emotions that need to be attended to, and that is my job of humaning, and I'm working on that. So and I also know, like, when I decide to do something, that it's going to take like a huge chunk of time usually to do it at the level that I want to do it. So, and I'm gonna do it that way no matter what. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the thing. So I'm in no rush so I have, to this point, I feel like I have made many accomplishments. I have done many things that I have felt very good about. You know, I could die tomorrow and be like, I did a good thing here on this planet. Like, I did it. I have performed for Bob Dylan. I have volunteered to help people. I have, you know, made amazing music. I have done things with my body that I physically didn't think were possible at one point, you know? Like, I am fulfilled, like, I am happy. But at the same time, there's never gonna be enough hours in the day to do everything that I wanna do because there are so many cool things in this world to experience, but I'm just like selective about which ones do I really want to do well. And so, yeah, so in 10 years, I mean, I've thrown around ideas about opening a consulting company for businesses who want to incorporate more vegan products into like their line, their store, whatever. They're wanting to embrace that upcoming market, especially 2018, biggest year for veganism across the world. And it's an expanding market. It's exciting, right? There's this like new demographic of people that you can tap into. and get money from. That's what everyone wants, is money. So I'm throwing around this idea, have been for several months, of opening a consulting company where I can help businesses who are looking to tap into that demographic of how to source the best products, what things are coming out that haven't like been out in the past, what things are going to be new for that year, what things the vegans actually want, what products have done well before, and then also like help them with like marketing concepts to, you know, this is how to get this product to sell, so on and so forth. These are, you know, this is some content you can use to support this and whatever, and really give them the whole package. And so that way I can charge a consulting fee, and then also I can charge a commission on a percentage that they make on those products once they sell lots of them every single year. So I'm throwing that around, but I think my camera's getting hot again. Okay, maybe if I take it away from the light, it'll be better. Oh, this video's almost done. So that's kind of like going around my head as an idea. And then also, I was not expecting to get this into this typology stuff, like was not trying to, but I do see its implications on a larger scale. And even when I've kind of blasted off to some people about like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, this is what like sleep versus consume kind of like looks like, and like, you know, oh, that's like more like extroverted thinking, and like it's actually helped people in some scenarios that I wasn't expecting it to, you know, and people have understood concepts and have been grateful for me to share information with them on this kind of stuff because they've seen the direct application to their lives, and that's been cool. So I wasn't trying to devote the amount of like interest time into this as I kind of am. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a few things out of this. I'm gonna kind of like work on myself, get myself to like a better place, and you know, that's that. But you know, then kind of seeing like the more like global scale of, even Dave mentioned it the other week, I thought of it too before he said anything, but like with mental health and people getting like misdiagnosed, you know, not the people who really have like the chemical issues, but the people who are being misdiagnosed on a regular basis, things that are related to personality. And you know, now those people are living with side effects of medications often that are literally life altering, that are changing their relationships, like changing their physical body health. And being able to prevent that would be absolutely incredible. Like even on a small scale, that would be huge. So anyway, stop getting me excited about stuff. And I hope Ben's filming his video. I think he had to hang up with his GoPro, but I hope that's working. Excuse me. So I think I covered everything for the 10th time. 10 years, yeah. I'm figuring that out, already happy, in no rush to like make another decision. I'm doing my job. I like that for now. Probably won't be there forever. Could work somewhere else. Don't necessarily want to unless it's something I'm passionate about. I want to continue to make positive change in the world. I hate that answer. It's so annoying. But it's like I do want to do it. I think that I hold good values and good perspective towards the world in a lot of areas, and I want everyone to think like I do. No, I'm just kidding. But I have seen where things have helped me, and if that can help other people, cool. If that can help other living beings, like the whole veganism thing, you know, like animals suffering for no reason, like freaking annoys the crap out of me, you know? So if I can help like in that way, cool. And I think that's it. I think I said everything. If I'm not, I'm sure you'll tell me. There's my YouTube channel, there's my other thing. The blog. Was there anything else? No. But yeah, you can watch those videos. I told you guys that it was interesting because like on my videos that I normally do for my channel, like my channel is it's thought out, that process of what I'm posting, when I'm posting it, what kind of content I'm putting out there. It's usually specific things that I've been asked like by multiple people in the past. So I'm like, okay, there's a need for this subject or whatever. Or I see an increase, like I study freaking like things on the internet to map out, because I know, I keep saying this over and over again, I know where I want to go and I see the internet way to get there, and so I'll make it happen if I have to. And so those videos are kind of like, they're very targeted towards what I know kind of needs to happen. But then when I was doing that interview for that production company, it was funny because it was not like I didn't have the questions before, and like I was like seeing like these different things kind of like come out of myself, but at the end of the day it's basically the same shit as I was talking about here. So all right, that's it. It's late. My dog is angry at me. Ben's filming his video. I think that we are polar opposites in our types, like pretty close to like exact opposite. So I'm really interested to hear what you guys are saying. He actually thinks that we're doing this video because I'm checking my work for the class, which it is true, but really I just want to get inside of his head even more and learn things from you guys. Okay, that's it.